In this video, I'm going to explain how the alto and the tenor clef work. So first of all, you notice I have on the left here 4 clefs, and 2 of them you might recognize, the soprano and the bass clef. So we also call the soprano clef the treble clef. And on the right, I show you the range that the soprano sings. So here we have C, which is C4 on the piano. To find C4, middle C, if you don't know, find the lowest C on the piano, and then go up the octaves from 1, 2, 3, 4. C4 is middle C. The sopranos sing from that C4 all the way to the high G. Basses, their high note is the C, and then they can go all the way down. It's about an E. This is the range that you should write if you're writing for, say, a high school choir. They'll be able to sing these pitches, but as they get to the ends of these ranges, they're at their extreme. So notice, both the soprano and the basses can sing this C, so it's no accident that that note is where it is, given these clefs. The clefs try to keep most of the pitches that these voices sing on the lines, and that's the purpose. You don't want to be reading a lot of ledger lines because they're hard to read. So by using the clefs, it shifts the range, this is the bass, of where those notes are that are on the lines and spaces. Okay, so what about the alto and the tenor? Well, you know the alto's a little bit below the soprano, and the tenor's a little bit below the altos. So if you look at these two ranges here, let me play them for you. The alto, the lowest note for them is the G, below middle C, to that high C, the C5. And C4 is smack in the middle on that third line. For the tenors, C4 is one line higher. It's the second line from the top, and their range is a little bit lower. So the low note for the tenor is C3, and then that high G is their highest note. Now, how do you read these two clefs, alto and tenor? Aside from knowing where that C4 is, you could also take a look at this, the top note here, and there's something to recognize. So here, this top note that I wrote, the top range for the alto is C3. Now if you think in treble clef, that note's going to be a B. Okay, it's going to be that high B. But when you think in alto clef, just raise each letter or each note one letter name, and that's going to be the note name. So think in treble clef, that note that you see for the alto is a B normally, but one higher is C. Same thing for the bottom note. The bottom note is an F in treble clef, but in an alto clef, this note that would be an F in treble, it's G. Okay, so there's the range of the alto. For the tenor, it's the opposite. So thinking in the treble clef, the low note here would be a D. Go one down, and that's C. And then in treble clef, that would be an A. Go down one note, and it's G. So there's a little bit of a pattern here, because if you look at the ranges of the voices, well, except for the bass sort of breaks this, but from the soprano, the range is C to G. For the alto, it's G to C, the opposite. For the tenor, C to G. And then for the bass, well, they can go a little bit lower than that G, maybe E to C. That's it for today. I hope this helps.